But Saka did create more.
Go on to him, like, you know what I mean? What did Saka do in that second half? If Martinelli done that, you'd be on him.
I know, Lee, you're getting emotional now. Sorry, Lee, you're getting emotional. Saka did create a lot. Saka did well. Oh, come Lee, football's not that deep. You don't need to be like this.
Good afternoon and welcome back to DR Sports for another enthralling edition of the weekend preview show. Enthralling, Abby, it is. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Good
Happy
to have
to be
you
back.
Right?
Good
And
to be
good
back.
good that you've replaced Robbie.
I know. What a nice replacement.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's really good. I'm really looking forward to this show. Right, we also have Matisse, who is currently drinking a Lemsip. There are other drinks available to cure your chesty cough.
I don't
How you doing,
think
mate?
there is there?
Tesco's own.
Okay.
Sainsbury's
We'll
own.
be having that.
You okay?
Well, yeah, I'm as good as you can be. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't miss out on this Arsenal dunking, so we're here regardless.
Lovely. And straight from walking off of the set, fuming of Forever Arsenal, Lee Judges.
By special request.
From one show to another, he's joined us. I think this might be his debut. Let's give him a round of applause on the weekend preview show on DR Sports. Right, this is the brace then. Good to have you back, fella.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
How you doing?
Don't wind me up, though. I won't walk off.
Don't wind me up,
well,
Mike.
is that a
Listen,
promise?
this was a
Or a
special
challenge?
request. We were told that obviously Cecil and Rob were away. They said, "Who do you want?" And we said,
We all
said it had
resounding.
to be.
It was.
It had to be you.
It was resounding.
Grinding my gears.
I'll take that as an
Grinding my gears.
complimentary.
No, we
Robbie
mean
and
it in
Cecil
that
are not
way.
here, and James is not here. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, but you know
we
what?
give
They
judges
always,
them.
Even if they were, mate.
always
Even if
wheel
they
James
were.
out after a loss. So maybe you'll now be the one that gets wheeled out. We'll see you more often now.
Wow.
Oh, she started early. Good to see.
Cecil's
Guys,
in chat.
of course, we'll be talking about the Champions League games as well as looking ahead to the big Premier League games this weekend. But just before we do, this video, in fact, is brought to you by Fair Play, the peer-to-peer betting app where you can win money off of your mates, right? Fair Play, as we know, Abby, has launched the Jackpot Sevens Premier League predictor game. No one has won it yet, but there is £700,000 in cold, hard cash up for grabs, right? It's not just about the jackpot prize, though. If you're not lucky enough to win that, each week there's a minimum prize pot of 5 ton, right, which will be split between the top 5 placed entries. The past week, we had 6 winners, Abby, right, who won a share of £741.50.
It's not bad, that.
You're not going to turn your nose up at that, are you?
Very happy.
That's a holiday.
That.
It's a holiday to some places. And you can find their names on the screen now, right? Big up to Ben for winning the lion's share of the jackpot, £444.90. Little round of applause for Ben Esther. Right, it's not easy. It's not easy at all. And he got 3 totally correct scores. So that's won him the cash. Big up to Ben. Be sure to get involved too and play along with us. All you have to do is download the Fair Play app, select Jackpot Sevens and enter your predictions for the game week and see if you're one of the 5 guaranteed winners of the week. £5 to enter. The weekly prize pot increases the more people enter the stake. So we're all playing. Stick around because later on in the show, we'll be talking through our Jackpot 7 predictions for the week, right? And don't forget as well, a Millie is back today. This is going to be an absolute belter of a show. 2 o'clock after this show, Lee Judges, the judge, goes up head-to-head against Matthijs. Really looking forward to this one. The live event on O'Milly for the preview of Chelsea-Arsenal. A must-win now, is it not, for the Gunners? You can call in, talk to them. As we know, it's the ultimate platform where real fans connect and debate. So download, come and speak to us in the debate. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen now to download the app. More details about this new app coming on in the show. Right.
What a read.
Yeah, 2 back-to-back.
read.
It's a
Got there eventually,
Well done,
didn't
yeah.
we got there
Well
eventually.
done. Well done.
I'll tell you who else got there eventually. Inter Milan, as they win against Arsenal in the Champions League. Not in the sheet, that one, coincidentally, is it?
I wonder who did the running.
Yeah, I wonder who did that, but we'll still talk about it. Only one place to go, really. Get your likes in, get your comments in. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Got loads of big stuff coming up today. We must start with Lee Judges. I think we must.
I do feel sorry for you because you should be the one that has to sit here and hold this.
I can hold it. I'm not.
But you will hold it. So it's
I will
fine.
hold it. I'll hold my home.
We were actually having a lovely conversation downstairs.
Right.
You know, it just shows you that Spurs and Arsenal fans can live side by side and have a nice conversation. However, talk to us.
1-0.
What's going on?
3 defeats in 4.
3 defeats in 4. Yeah.
I don't know what is it a coincidence? Because taking Liverpool out of this equation, right?
This is all about you.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, Aston Villa have lost their last 3 games.
It's all about you, Lee.
Could be 4
It's all
on
about
Saturday.
Arsenal.
Manchester City have lost all their last 3
All
games.
about Arsenal.
Oh, that's true.
Is it something to do with the Champions League playing week in, week out? You know, teams like Tottenham, Chelsea, even more so, can rest players in the
Can we?
European competitions, can play a completely different squad because they're crap competitions and get through.
Funny.
And so I don't know if that's a coincidence, but Liverpool are certainly not letting that happen. But
Going to talk about Mikel Arteta because I feel,
Mikel
I feel
Arteta,
like
what do you want to know
you're
about
being
Mikel
quite
Arteta?
like Rob, and it's being disingenuous here. We're trying to deflect away from what's really on everyone's tongues. Okay, the Paella Pulis. You didn't have to go the whole way to Milan if you wanted to watch Stoke. Could have just stayed in this country. So let's talk about Paella Pulis, the tactics.
Why are they calling him Pulis? Why can't we call him?
Well,
Pochettino?
it's Abby's anti-football
Because Pochettino
club.
didn't play like that.
Oh no, because Pochettino did win a trophy. No, he didn't.
Well, neither is Mikel Arteta.
No, Mikel
But it's
has won an FA
Oh, the
Cup.
FA Cup, which he inherited from Unai Emery.
So we have to
600
call
mil.
We're
him a
talking
Pulis.
about the style of play. We can call him.
Yeah, he's got it
Conte,
wrong.
if you like.
He's got
Conte
it wrong.
ball. Maybe that's offensive to Antonio Conte. Actually,
It is.
let's
I'll hold my
call
hands
it.
up.
Call it for what it is. It's giving Tony Pulis. Put a cap on him and Bob's your uncle.
I'm going to hold my hands up. He has got it wrong. He needs there's questions. As I said to you earlier on, how many more games do you need to know that what you're doing is not working? You know, you lose to Bournemouth, you lose to
Newcastle
without scoring, by the way, and then you go and do it in Inter Milan, which, by the way, James, who doesn't make that many good points on the
I love James.
but he did make a very good point
So
today.
nasty.
He did make a very good point today. There's a little bit more leniency towards the Champions League because of the format and all that. So why don't you go and be more adventurous in that? Which we did?
Why does the format have anything to do with it?
Because I think with you can afford to lose or afford to draw a game in that competition and still qualify because of the way that it is. So you can be a little bit more gun ho, I suppose. You know,
But you never won it in the old format either. So what's the
we haven't
format
won in
got
any
to do with it?
format over there. Like that.
I do agree, though. I think the group stages, the way they used to be, your defeat yesterday would have been potentially a little bit more
damaging than what it
consequent.
was.
Yeah, there would have been more consequences.
Yeah.
And Inter Milan, funnily enough, they had bigger fish to fry because they rested Thuram, Di Marco, Barella, Bastoni. They actually rotated because they got a game against Napoli on the weekend. And it feels like Arteta's almost... He's taught Arsenal how to ride a bike, right? It was a tricycle. He's taken the stabilisers off. Then you had those 2 big seasons, especially the first where you was really attacking, really in a lot of intent. And then you had one little accident, grazed your knee, and he's put the stabilisers back on. And you'll never be as fast again.
It's a good
that's
analogy.
literally
Well,
what
it's a
it
very good
looks
Very
like.
good analogy.
Yeah,
Very good analogy.
I don't know about you, but I was riding the bike at 3, so don't worry about it like that. But no, what I think, listen, he's made mistakes. Yeah, I've got to hold my hands up to it. Like, you know, I look at it and go, right. I get when we played Aston Villa, and I get when we played Spurs, and particularly when against Manchester City, you have to be a little bit defensive and everything like that. Like, not anti-football, but defensive and all that. But the last few games, it's just you've got to change your style.
So,
like, you know
what is the next option? Because everybody was aware that one of the best things that Arsenal had was their defence, set pieces, not capitalising on those, because that's what it looked like to me. You want to get set pieces, you want to get corners, because that's where you think you're going to be most fruitful. But in terms of actually creating and having sight of goal or having someone being through
Open
on
play.
just open play, creating anything from open play, does that highlight your shortcomings in the summer when your only reliance of doing that is on someone like an Odegaard creating and Saka being absolutely at that level every single game? Have you left yourself short?
What he's done, and this is my opinion, and you know, people agree with it or disagree with it. Like, you know, last season from January to onwards, we had Havertz up front. He was like doing very, very well there. But since Odegaard's gone out, what he's done is he's put Havertz back into that sort of Odegaard position. So what we've now done, we've lost what he was giving us up top, because there isn't nothing up top now, like, you know, and he doesn't do what Odegaard does in that position, like, you know. So you have to look at it and go, right, for one position, you've cost us two positions. I don't understand that, like. And even yesterday, like, put Havertz up front and take a gamble and put on Nwaneri. And I think at the end of it, I just think that he's gone too cautious. And listen, my mate turned around and said a very, very good point to me yesterday. He said, and I think it's true what he says. I've said it on the Forever Arsenal today. There's going to be a time when, if Arsenal don't win the league, when was the moment that Arsenal didn't win this? When was it? And it was at Bournemouth when Saliba got sent off. And not because he got sent off.
You think that will be the moment?
Well, this is what he said. It was the moment there when Arteta brought on a defender. He felt that at the end of the day, no, we're still 0-0. It's Bournemouth. Go attacking, go that. Now, would he have done that if Odegaard was in the team? I don't know. But I think that was a moment where he went defensively, we got done. And I think when we look back at that, and that was for me as the wrong decision, he should have just said, you know what? We can still beat them with 10. I think Pep would have gone, I think Ange would have still carried on. Like,
he would have done it with 9.
He'd done it with 9.
Hard way.
I think, and do you know what? I look back on it and I think, do you know what? I think last season he wouldn't have done that. I think he would have gone, and I think it was a little sign of just going, I'm not too sure what we've got going forward and all that. And that is on him.
But then doesn't that highlight your shortcomings in the summer? Calafiore is a good signing. Marino, the jury's, I think, very much out on him. But in terms of building what you need at the front, everybody knew that you probably needed another 9.
They signed Sterling,
an upgrade.
And they didn't bring him off the bench yesterday.
Well, listen, again, you can talk about Sterling. His last appearance in the Premier League starting was against Bournemouth. He come off after 30 minutes, didn't really do anything right or wrong. I ain't seen him since.
But if you're looking for someone that is going to maybe give you that spark or give you something going forward, why would that be not an option that you look at? Mikel Arteta's not even looking at that.
No, I agree. It's another thing. But for me, like the problems, the one that could have fixed this was a 17-year-old kid. He come on yesterday and give us a spark. Don't forget when he played against, I think it was Leicester, we was 2-2. Crowd were a little bit edgy. He come on and turned that game. I don't know. You tell me, I'll say it to myself, like as an Arsenal fan yesterday. What? And I'd love to ask this to Mikel. What give you the reason? What has Jesus done to give you the chance to go in front of Wanyeri in that game? Because what he could have done was brought Wanyeri on, put him
on earlier. Even when he did come on, he still was dangerous.
Yeah, he had a couple of shots from range.
And the thing is as well, like when he had that triangle on the right hand side, he had Saka, he had Odegaard, and he had Ben White. That was like top tier chemistry. Like the interchange in there between those three, chance creation.
All three have been injured.
Flair. But Wanyeri made like the most obvious sense to just put into Odegaard's position. He's left-footed, he's creative, and just try and recreate that dynamic. You never really had loads of fluidity off the left. Martinelli obviously was banging in goals, but he never overlapped with the left back. Obviously Xhaka was a little bit more restrictive. So I don't know why he hasn't tried to recreate something that was already there.
And that's on the manager. It's not on the transfer window. I hear people turn around and go, right, it's the Cronkies. You know what I mean? Not spent enough money, like, you know what I mean? He had the opportunity to do it against Preston. Who was the player? You're all neutrals. Yeah. Who was the player that impressed at Preston? Right. Was it Jesus?
No.
So why a week later is he coming on in place in front of?
Just before we move on, just because this is picked up some traction on Arsenal Twitter and online, just have to ask you, are you questioning Mikel Arteta? Are you Mikel Arteta in or out?
Shut up, Abby. Like,
okay, just had to ask a question.
All right. Well, we're going to speak about Arsenal a little bit more, but that was obviously your Arsenal Champions League roundup. Other
we're not
results.
talking about the penalties. You don't want to go down that route, or
it's a Premier League preview show, mate. Premier League preview show.
Fair enough.
We'll move on.
The law in Europe.
Other results include the champions, the 15-time champions, Real Madrid, losing at home convincingly, by the way, to AC Milan. Great result.
Milan seems are good, aren't they?
Well, we beat them away, so 3-1. Anyway, Sporting Lisbon 4, Manchester City 1. What a result that is, by the way. Shout out to Gyökeres, who got the hat-trick. Shout out to Ruben Amorim. Unbelievable second half, especially from Sporting, as they crush Man City to their third defeat in as many games. And let's mention that, by the way.
Pep getting the back in that he deserves.
Well, listen.
Maybe not. They've got a lot of injuries.
But yeah, listen, that's a huge result. And City have now got to pick it up at the weekend. Club Brugge, they won last night, 1-0 against Aston Villa. Tyrone Mings, what are you doing? You absolute sausage. Did you see it?
I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's a handball, isn't it?
Yeah, and it happened last year. It is a handball. It happened last year. Gabriel Magalhaes, and the referee said it was a mistake.
That
no
was in
penalty.
the Champions League as well.
It was.
Yeah.
And I can't believe what I saw, to be honest.
Great way to return.
Atletico Madrid won late. They left it very late to beat PSG last night. They are mudded, I can't lie. And of course, the game that I was at the other night, Liverpool 4, Leverkusen 0.
Not the same team, though, are they?
Who?
Well, they've lost 3 games in 2 years.
Yeah,
so, and that was one of them.
We've got to move on.
We've got to move on, have we? Yeah, brilliant. We've got to move on, of course.
All of those games this season, you mean?
No, in the last 2 years.
They lost their hunger.
All right.
The one was the Europa League final, which I was at the other night, and the game against Leipzig. I think they lost 3-2.
They lost their hunger.
Good couple of years though.
Fantastic. And he wasn't even nominated for Manager of the Year in the Ballon d'Or. That's unbelievable. Anyway, right, it's back to Arsenal, right?
Thank you.
Because this is a... Well, actually, we'll jump into some Super Chats first, because I know the people are waiting. They like a little early read. Ed says, I wish Robbie was here for this, but can your fans just go 5 games win or loss where you don't blame a referee or everyone has calls against them? It's your player's job to not let them affect the game.
Blame the referee against Newcastle. I think we held it and said how poor he was.
Well, Robbie last night was talking about the format.
Robbie said he'd like to play Inter again at
Robbie
home.
Tile.
Leighton Lyle is always like that. I mean, so
Robbie Tile.
You know, listen, we've had a few funny decisions today, but no excuses.
No excuses.
No excuses. Newcastle, no excuse. And yesterday, you know, could have been 2 penalties, but no excuse.
Kinye says he's done it again. Respect the judge. You never walk alone, he says. Yadvendra says Lee, I don't agree with this. Lee is so delusional and arrogant. He called Salah a moments player after the Liverpool and Arsenal game. Show some respect. He is closing in on your greatest ever player's record with less games.
Sorry, did you mean that in like he's a big moment player?
He must have.
100%.
So okay, so they've twisted
listen,
that.
Was it
see, this is what people take things out of.
Of course
He's a fantastic player. He's not the player he was 4, 5, 6 years ago. So he has to, because he hasn't got the legs to do what he was doing. But what he's got is his class player. So he chooses like Messi does now. Like, do you know what I mean?
Big
nice comparison. Yeah, I agree.
And at the end of the day, I didn't think he was that great against Arsenal. But when it mattered, he turns up, and that's what is. So is that a criticism?
No,
I don't think it is.
I don't think so.
It's not.
It's a compliment. He turns up in the big moments.
That's
exactly
what you
that.
want.
He's a moments player.
Big game player.
Big moments.
I don't know about that.
Big moments.
Clara Bitsy's in the house. Here she is. We'll rattle through these. 800 million squad with Tony Pulis tactics beaten by Inter Milan's B team, says Clara. Yadvendra says, we thought we'd heard it all. Refs, PGMOL, the weather, injuries. We got a new one yesterday. The tournament format. Never their fault when they lose. Arsenal are a pathetic club, says Yadvendra.
It was a bit wild from Rob, wasn't it?
I can't believe it.
Robbie
said we
on AFTV
blamed the format.
Blamed the format. Said it's all
What's the
about
format got to do with it?
What's the
That's what I
format?
said. The format was different last year, and they never won it.
Okay, so there's slightly more games, but Arsenal.
He said
it's not like Arsenal were successful with the old format.
He said he wanted the chance to play Inter. He wants the chance to play Inter at home.
Didn't really win.
And PSG away.
I get that, but the game it's changed.
Format
now.
changed.
It's not. Do you like the format? I don't really.
I don't like it that much,
but it's what it is. It is
we're
not
top.
That ain't the reason
I've not been in it, so don't really have a reason.
Mazum says we got Super Mick. He knows exactly what we need. Saliba at the back, Gabriel at the back, Timber at the back, White at the back, Partey at the back, Calafiori at the back, Zinchenko at the back. Ole ole! Shout out to Mason.
Everyone at the back.
Eric says $600 million spent and can't score from open play. Abby getting a bit ahead of herself here. The gap between Liverpool and Arsenal is big enough to fit a Forest in, says Stefan. No. Cheers, mate.
Yeah,
reminding us of our only defeat. We will.
Come back to the end.
Say says PSG L, Arsenal L, successful hate watch night.
KG did a successful hate watch, called me halfway through.
He did. Ilias says we rested 5 starters for our top of the table clash with Napoli. Inter Milan fan here. Hold that, Don Roberto. The excuses mafioso. Crying about refs. Malissimo. Forza Inter, he says.
We've done that away from home.
Don't know, but you're never going to find out.
We rested players yesterday.
Yeah. Black Rogue says Caicedo needs more recognition. He's been best. He's been very good this season. Terence says, is it time for serious questions to be asked of Arteta's management? 5-6 years in charge, 1 cup. Hundreds of millions spent and only got close once to win the league. Haaland had a point. Arteta is arrogant, inflexible, and thinks that the simple solution is beneath him. Trying 3D chess with simple checkers will do, says Ngoni. Shout out to you. Right. We'll jump back into the Arsenal, shall we?
Is he arrogant, Arteta, from a neutral point of view?
I would say so, yes.
Absolutely.
And he got a yellow card last night for trying to interfere with
He's got such...
I've ever seen that.
He loves coming out of his technical
area.
Deserved booking.
Touching up the ball and stuff that's still in play.
As we know, though, Abby, it's Chelsea-Arsenal.
Yeah.
4:30 on Sunday. It is one of the Jackpot 7's fixture, and it is a chance for Chelsea to potentially kill off Arsenal's title chances this weekend. As you know, as I said, this is one of our Fair Play Jackpot 7s. So we are offering new users, right, who download the app, a 1-week free entry to the Jackpot 7s using the code JACKPOT. Very simple when you sign up. We'll go over our predictions as we will all be entering. See if you can beat us and win a bit of that moolah. All right, a couple of reddies in the pocket for the weekend. To get involved with us, simply download the app by clicking the link in the description or scanning the QR code, which is right there, isn't it, on the screen.
There.
You must be over 18
There.
and you must gamble responsibly, right? Arsenal go to Stamford Bridge then. We'll come to Matisse as the home team. Chelsea picked it up a little bit. Should have probably won the last game, but Arsenal come into the Stamford Bridge arena. Is this a chance, do you think, to really kick them when they're down, put the nail in the coffin and kill off their title dreams? Because as we saw on Monday, Robbie said, if you do lose to Chelsea as an Arsenal fan, it could all be over.
Yeah, I'd love to. Love nothing more than to end their title charge. It would be beautiful.
Say it with chest then,
Yeah,
right?
sorry, can we have the same amount of chest
You're not going to
that
get
you
the
had
same,
last
you know,
week?
Decibels
you're not going to get the same
Can we have
decimals because I'm
It doesn't need to be the decibels, but can we have the...
I told production I'm present.
Energy.
I'm present, but you're not
Energy.
going to get that. So, but mainly because also
They're not paying us, mate.
also because unfortunately the way that Arsenal can only attack right now is our weakest form of defence. Like set pieces and crosses. You know, I've seen Chelsea concede from crosses, set pieces for the last few years. Very fragile, very weak, not very good in the air as a collective. Don't have many players that can contest with the Salibas, with the Gabriels. I have no doubt that we can out-football Arsenal. We can play well, but we need the result. And Arsenal could easily just come and scumbag the result because we can't defend their biggest threat. So,
it's going to be a good game then.
Listen, it might not be a good game because Arsenal aren't playing very well. We very much disappointed against Man United. That was the game where, on paper, we should have handled business and we didn't. This is two teams coming up against each other on the same points. Arsenal in poor form. Our form still needs to, improve as well. So I'd love us to beat them, but we need to be able to defend their biggest threat. And last time the manager spoke on the defence, it didn't seem to be a high priority of his to fix. He said there's a lot of other issues as well. So unless I see us defend with the same resilience as Newcastle, Inter Milan, which we haven't this season, you know, I'm not really getting ahead of myself on this one. I'd absolutely love it if we beat them, but.
You sound like Kevin Keegan.
Yeah.
Love it.
I'd
absolutely love it.
To Stamford Bridge on Sunday.
Absolutely love
it. Looking at the table, right, it's 4th versus 5th, and for the great start that Arsenal had, we're now looking at 10 games played from Chelsea and Arsenal, 5 won each, 3 drawn each, lost 2 each, Lee. This is an absolute must-win, and if Arsenal do win this game, because we've just spoken about what happens if you don't win this game, but if Arsenal do win this game, is that a big pick-up to maybe, you know, go ahead and challenge again? It can turn around, without joking, it can massively turn around if you win this game.
Liverpool have got Aston Villa this week, and then I think in a couple of weeks, so I think after the international break, they've got City.
At Anfield, yeah.
So, like, you know, this is a must-win for Arsenal. If Arsenal, I'd say, what, a must-win. And a draw's no good. A draw's no good, like, you know. So if we win this game, things can change. I'm not saying that Arsenal are going to win the title if they win this game, but they'll be back in it. But if you don't,
where does that put you both?
Well, in a top 4 battle.
Yeah. Well, we're level on points, isn't it? I don't even know if Cole Palmer's going to be available.
Don't usually show up anyway.
Who have Chelsea got against the Big Six as well? Who have Chelsea got in Europe this week?
Noah.
Who?
Who? No one.
Noah.
Oh, Noah.
Noah's Ark.
Sorry,
Ark.
Never heard of him.
Which country?
No idea.
What time?
No
I need to
idea.
Google it. Hold on, sorry.
No
Chelsea.
idea.
This is what I'm saying. Like,
Without being...
Oh, playing Noah.
Chelsea fixtures. Sorry.
Sorry,
I didn't do my preview.
come back
I'm
to
too,
that.
too
Noah.
ill for it, so I said.
The Arc. Where
So they don't
I haven't
want.
got a badge, Abby.
So they're
They actually
Yeah,
don't
my-
have
my-
a badge.
got a registered badge.
My
Where
graphic
did they
designer
come
was
from?
struggling to find a player for the thumbnail today.
Who did he use?
I think he
Just
found
a few
someone.
giraffes and
think he
that?
found one of the ball boys on Google.
Surprisingly, there are still tickets on
there's
sale.
not. Yeah, if you want to get down to
where is
Stamford
it?
Bridge
Chelsea?
tomorrow
No,
night.
Yeah, it's at Stamford Bridge. Listen,
FC
it's
Noah.
of no relevance because
They're Armenian. They're fourth in the Armenian Premier League.
yeah, I
To
mean
them,
it's of
big-
no
big
result. Relevance to the game because we're going to make about 11 changes anyway.
Let's keep it on the game though, because 4:30 comes around on Sunday. You're both going to be glued to the screens looking for that strong team. A couple injuries on your side. You mentioned Cole Palmer as well. Arteta has to put out the right team for this one. He has to get the tactics right. Everyone needs to play in their best position, surely.
If he carries on with the same tactic that he does, I might actually walk in Chelsea and walk out. I'd say that now.
Starting
If he
a trend.
plays that same, if I see Havertz in there and Trossard playing that role,
You might walk out.
He's not going to play
At the
Wanyeri though,
end
is
of
he?
the day, that team sheet should be either Wanyeri or Odegaard in that team.
Well, Odegaard is back, so
Well, he
you
played
would.
3 minutes. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know if he's fit. No, I don't think he's ready.
I'd
So
play
like,
Wanyeri.
it's got to be Wanyeri that
not gonna play
starts, and maybe
Wanyeri.
Odegaard coming on, or Odegaard starts and Wanyeri.
I would think that was
But
more
Lee-
likely. Odegaard starts and has 50 odd minutes.
But
I
Lee,
don't
if
want
he-
to see Trossard in that position and Havertz in that position because it's just I've had enough of it. It's 4 games now. It's not worked. Sort it out, Mikel. You know what I mean? And when you say about questions on Arteta, yes, there's massive questions on him. Like, I don't want him in or out. Don't want that conversation. But you've got to have a conversation. Is that when things are not going right? Listen, a good manager, any manager, can. When you've got your best players playing, it's quite simple. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Slot at the moment's doing a fantastic job at Liverpool, and credit to him, but he's playing the same team week in, week out. It's a little bit. When you get a few injuries and a little bit of it comes on you, that's when you earn your money as a manager. And Mikel has failed. He failed 2 years ago when Saliba got injured. He messed up, couldn't get that right. And now we've had Odegaard out. In my eyes, he's not got it right. He's not fixed the problem. So it's down to him. Fix the problem against Chelsea. Listen, if we play Wanyeri in there and we give it a good go and lose, fair enough. But at the minute, we're sitting there and talking to my mate coming up before this game and all that. Didn't deserve to lose against Inter Milan, but realistically, did we do enough to win the game? No. So you have to hold your hands up and say that. So at the end of the day, go to Chelsea and give it a bloody good go. And you're right. You know, I mean, play all the football with the flair that we can with those sort of players, and also bombarding them with set pieces and all that. Like, you've got more of a chance of winning the game than sitting back waiting for something to happen.
If he's not played Wanyeri against Southampton's, Leicester's, I don't think he's going to play him at Stamford Bridge. So I think you are going to get the same team.
To throw in a 17.
It is fair because he's good enough.
If you're good enough, you're.
He's good enough. He come on yesterday and Alex and showed
my
that.
point is, if you're throwing on him, right, and listen, from what I've seen, from what I've heard, he's an absolute gem of a player, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how he flourishes. But surely, right, if you've done your due diligence in the transfer window and you've got your key signings in, would you have to rely on a 17?
You're not relying on him now. Why are you relying on him?
Well,
because Odegaard's your player. Odegaard's your player. Like,
but this is what I meant earlier about the fact that you haven't done enough in the summer. The fact that when Odegaard is out, you sold Smith Rowe, and for whatever reason, fine, you did that. But actually, when you've had this vacancy in midfield,
Odegaard missed 2 games last season.
Yeah, I know, but you have to also prepare for the
4 games.
But you have to also have a squad good enough to be able to compete on front. And you're very lucky you had no injuries last season. You saw what happened to United, Spurs, Chelsea last season when all of us had
Arsenal had no injuries last season.
No,
didn't they?
Barely.
Didn't they?
Barely.
So like,
we're talking about El Neni. We're talking about your squad.
Well, you're not
players.
talking about Timber. You're not talking about Partey then.
Timber had never kicked a ball for you
So
once.
that doesn't mean so
he's narrative. Like,
why didn't he kick a ball? Why didn't he kick a ball?
Because he was injured, but he
Thank
never
you.
played
That's
for
it.
you.
That doesn't matter. He's injured.
Your core team.
Yeah, but you
he's injured.
Lee, you didn't do enough in the summer.
Listen,
to have a backup
everybody
for
has injuries.
Kai Havertz, have a backup for a Saka, have a backup for.
Was you happy with the window, Lee?
Come on.
Or
not 100%. I felt we was 1 or 2 down, if I'll be honest. But like when people go to you, Odegaard's out injured, like this is what I'm saying.
He ain't coming in for the whole season, is he? He's coming in for 4 or 5 games.
Just bring him in.
So bring him in. That's what I'm saying. I don't care if he's 17 years of age. He's good enough.
Fabregas played at a young age.
Yes.
Wayne Rooney. There's Barcelona players playing at 17. Like, play.
All right. Well, listen, we've spoken about this game. I'm sure we could do another hour segment on it, to be
Delusional.
honest. But it is time to lock in our predicciones, right?
Also, Cecil, get out of the chat, man.
Yeah, Cecil.
Well, Cecil, my guy.
Yeah, he's shouting out.
I miss Cecil because I weren't in Milan for the last couple of days, so I'm
big him up. Right, let's go through the predictions. Obviously, we're going to do these in the app. I'm going 2-2. Which I know isn't good enough for you. I know that isn't good enough for you, but it's good enough for me, right? So I'll go 2-2.
Good enough for you, it's good enough for me.
Good song. 2-2. I think there's going to be goals. I think there could be drama. I think there always is in this, hotly contested London derby. It's a 4:30. It's a Sunday. Arsenal coming to win. Chelsea, have to show up at home as well. Can't have another no-show. So I'm going 2-2. What do you reckon, Matthijs?
One day you'll call me my own name.
Never.
1-1, I'll go.
1-1?
Yeah.
Is that a realistic? I suppose it is, yeah.
It is.
Yeah, stick your chest out for a 1-1.
Yeah, all that pigeon chest for what? Abby, what do we reckon? Because you're a bit...
I'll put mine in now. Bosh.
You don't want either.
I'm a bit stuck. Obviously, I hate Chelsea, but I do hate Arsenal way more. So, would I like you to just put a little nail in the coffin for me? Could I accept that? Yeah, I could. I'm going to go with a 2-1 Chelsea win.
And that must have been quite hard.
It is hard for me because I don't really want to.
Why is that hard for you?
Because I hate Chelsea and Chelsea hates Spurs.
But we're actually football pundits, so take that away.
I believe this is the 4:30 game where Cole Palmer will show up.
This is what I don't understand. I want
one.
Chelsea to, just win 2 games a season.
Yeah, but
against Tottenham, you mean?
Yeah, I don't know. It's
And
not even a non-brainer.
and I'm fine with that. That's why I just said Chelsea to beat you because I've got
Get in there.
bigger
So
things.
what is your prediction?
What's yours
Let's have
then?
it.
2-0.
2-0 to the Arsenal.
Yeah.
Cool.
Are you having that?
I wouldn't be very happy.
Well,
I'd be fuming.
We've got it locked in.
I've got it locked in. It's already there.
Locked in, I can see it. It's right there.
I can see it. Wow, big up to
listen,
judges, yeah.
part of that, we've got to do that as well. I've been impressed with Chelsea this season. They've got some good players, Chelsea.
No, they do.
But
We'd have that.
if Arsenal turn up and get their form right, get the team right, get the tactics right,
And you're going to be at the game.
Depending.
Or he will walk out.
Depending on
what would it take for you to walk out onto the King's Road?
Onto the King's Road.
Yeah. Straight into the pub.
if I see that team line up again.
Nah, you're not going to walk if you see that team. You're going to walk if you're losing like 3-4-0.
Nah, I would never do that.
Wow.
I'd stay to the end.
You stay to the end and watch it.
Done a lot of walking.
Was you at the 6-0? Arsene Wenger's 1,000. Was you at the 6-0?
6-0, stay there to the end.
Good.
Arsene Wenger's 1,000.
Good
Real
lad.
fan, proper fan, proper.
Right, let's
Stay there to the end when them lot down the road beat us 3-0. If you can do that, you can do it at Stamford Bridge, you know what I mean? So,
well, listen, as you know, we've just made our predictions. Make yours, use the QR code and get involved in the Jackpot Sevens fixture. We'll jump back into the Super Chats before we get into Brighton Man City, which is the 5:30 kickoff on Saturday. Robbie out! Big up the judge, says Sir Alex Ferguson in the chat. Good to see.
Oh, Alex is in his.
Sir Alex, yeah.
Ain't got anything else to do these days.
No, exactly. Well, he's just been sacked, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So he's got a few quid to spare. Sabita says Julian blamed driving in Italy. Sorry, let me just read that again.
Just move
Julian
on.
blamed, and not just the team's drive and determination. He didn't mean that. He actually meant
Driving.
the driving of the car.
Your
Did you
fan
see
base
that?
is something else.
I mean, Julian, I know you and him, water and fire, aren't you? You're like, you just clash all the time.
We're not as close as he
brothers.
likes us to be.
But he
Like,
thinks
All brothers,
that
you are.
The driving impacted that.
he
I
just
mean,
makes up silly excuses all the time.
He is.
He's
But
like-
apparently I heard that he paid for a night out the night before.
I'm not happy with that.
Yeah, because you weren't
You
there.
never
I
had
weren't
that
there.
before, have
You
you?
weren't there.
Apparently, it was a posh restaurant as well, steak and all
From
that.
the stories, it looked very
It
nice.
did look
There was
very
steaks,
nice.
There was Negronis, there was whiskey. Lovely stuff.
It did
Big
look
up to
nice.
Julian.
a
Vishit
joke.
says Barca. And we must mention Barcelona. They have been flying this season. The front three have scored the most goals in Europe. They beat Bayern 4-1, Madrid 4-0, and top of the La Liga. Are they currently the best team in Europe? I'd have them and Liverpool as the best teams in Europe at the minute.
Yeah.
Statistically, yeah.
Statistically, yeah.
I would. And factually as well,
I'd say
probably.
Barcelona just the best.
Yeah.
No, let it go.
What was the score when they came to Anfield?
Liverpool.
All right,
done
don't digress.
fantastically well.
Stephen Ireland's
that this
grandmother.
season?
Lee, are Spurs supporters your best customers as they're not associated with clean sheets?
Neither. Wait, one sec.
That's brilliant.
Hold on one sec.
Fantastic.
Neither are Arsenal anymore. Conceded the same amount of goals.
Yeah, Spurs fans.
So have that, Stephen Ireland's grandmother. Have that.
Spurs fans, we're very, we're always coming in the shop like back in the day. I ain't got no money. So can I pay you next week? Like,
Can I take it and all that? SN 1990 says, so bigger fish to fry from England lost a bigger fish to fry from Italy because they had bigger fish to fry, and some of them were talking about 5-1. Because remember we went there and won 5-1 in 2003.
Yeah. Well, should we forget about that, or you're allowed to bring that up?
No, just
as an Arsenal fan
would be good.
Well. You're not going to go there. There's not many stadiums you can go to and do it again and again and again, unless it's Tottenham. You know what I mean? But
little shot back. Anyway, why argue with a Spurs fan when you can just wait? Says Tanish.
I'll also just wait till you also don't win the league again at the end of the season.
Ilya says, Abby, is the secret to your glowing skin a mud mask? Because you always seem to be glowing when Arsenal are in the mud.
Yeah, maybe.
Other masks are available. Shout out to Lee. Yeah. A Wahab says, good to have a sensible Arsenal fan for once, and I'm still campaigning to have Abby and Matthijs sitting next to each other once more.
He's unwell.
Who's this person?
Don't know, but
A
he's
Wahab.
It's very obsessed. Isn't it?
obsessed, but he's also ill, so I don't want to be any.
No one wants to-
I'm
no
literally
one wants to sit next to him today.
I'm just getting better.
Shout out to
so-
Salad Boy. This is
No,
a good
thank
one.
you.
What is going on with lukewarm, condensation, room temperature, Fahrenheit, medium rare, mild, undercooked, Lemsit Parma? What is going on?
This back and forth exchange over Palmer's hilarious. Just goes to show that you guys really do rate him. You do think he's a great player. And you are worried about him.
What's the matter with Palmer anyway?
They just talk about him every single week. That's what it is.
Let's just question
Well,
marks.
no, but you said earlier on he might not be playing. Why is he not going to be playing?
Oh, he picked up a knock against Man United.
What sort of knock?
I think. I think it was Martinez, was it? I can't remember, but just went slamming into his leg.
Oh, that
that was a red card, mate. That was a red card, man.
Hopefully he recovers. If he doesn't, then the rest of them need to step up as well.
So be it. Right, we'll jump back into predictions because it's Brighton versus Manchester City. A tough place for City to go to now that they've lost 3 games in a row. Brighton have conceded more Premier League goals against City, though, than any other opponent, 40. Failing to keep a clean sheet in any of their 14 matches against the Citizens. City have taken 37 points from 42 available from Brighton. The worst one for me, right, was that last day of the season in 2019 where Glenn Murray scores.
Yeah.
And I'm at Anfield against Wolves going, we could win the league today. And then, 2 minutes later, they're 2-1 up. But Brighton have dropped 10 points from winning positions this season. Only 4 fewer than they did the whole of the last season. Obviously did that against Chelsea and Liverpool recently. But Brighton are unbeaten in their 5 Premier League home games so far this season. Right? Only in 1983 have they had a longer run without a home defeat. But get on this one. Man City's 32-game unbeaten run in the Premier League came crashing to an end at Bournemouth last time out. And look at this. Only in October 2023, December 2018 and December 2016 have they lost consecutive league games under Pep Guardiola. So, could it happen? We'll be predicting this one. As you know, this is the 5:30 kickoff. Brighton Hove Albion versus Man City. Lee, any thoughts on this game?
Do you know what? I've got City down to win it. But after that, I'm not so sure. I didn't know that
was
stats
for you, Lee. Can change everything.
Yeah, stats can change everything. They don't like it by the seaside, do they? Like,
they don't.
So,
don't like it by the
seaside. Not the seaside this time.
Listen, I'd love Brighton to win that. Come on, you know what I mean?
Me too.
Maybe a draw. Maybe a draw.
A draw would be great.
Take a draw.
A draw would be great because City obviously.
What about your City fan? What do you think?
It's a good shout. Fair.
Could do with them winning, probably.
You could do with them winning. Ever since you started following them, they've not been quite as consistent.
Oh, no, I've been following them. We've won a few leagues.
We've won
a few leagues.
I've seen this, Abby. Don't bite.
I don't know. This is, again, it's a bit of an odd game, this one, because the form that they're in, I mean, the other night, what happened at Sporting was just unheard of when it comes to City.
Yeah.
You know, the Bournemouth one, I want to give all the credit to Bournemouth on that because they were so good and City were just not at it. They've got their injuries as well. Tough place to go, Brighton, when they're on it. Really tough place to go.
Liverpool didn't seem to think so.
Well, Spurs did.
You played them at Anfield, though.
No, in a way, you played them in
Oh
the
no,
cup.
we did. Yeah, we did. Thank you, Lee. Played them twice in a week and beat
Yeah,
them
that
twice.
was it. Was what 3-2 when you went there.
Yeah.
I kind of fancy a similar scoreline.
For City though.
Well, I think City might struggle. I do. I do. There are definitely frailties.
Haaland's missed 8 big chances.
He has, and when I watched him against Fulham, when I watched him against Newcastle, like, we're going back about 5 weeks now. I haven't been particularly convinced with City.
They've not been playing well.
No, so I think they're going to have to start scoring, and I think that this will be the time that they do. But I think Brighton are really going to give them a good game. I'm going to go 3-2 City.
Is that locked in?
It is locked in.
It is locked in. I can
It's
see
locked
it.
in.
I am going to go with a reluctant Manchester City win. I think 3-1. I think they will bounce back. However, the mentality shift now after getting smashed up by Sporting Lisbon, those fans that are travelling down, they're expecting and they're wanting a big response. Matisse, what have you gone for?
It's tough because I can see both teams conceding.
Yeah.
Danny Welbeck, I can see him rising again. Vardy was always good for a goal. Will De Bruyne start? This could be I don't know. It's tough.
Is he fit?
Yeah,
I think he's available. Yeah, this could be a game where he kind of shows his quality. He always has those moments in a season where everyone's kind of forgotten that he's around because of injuries, and then he just turns up. I'll probably go 2-2, but very difficult to call. I'm very interested to see Matoma on that left side versus Rico Lewis if it is to be him. Runtar, yeah, there's some good players.
They've got some very good players.
Man.
Brighton got depth. Footballing team. They have got depth. They can switch it up.
But they got a lot of injuries as well.
Welbeck, obviously, they're former Manchester United player. I've gone 3-1. Are we all locked in?
I've locked in City 1-0.
1-0. Nicking
I think it'd be a great
Getting
game.
into the international break, just get the points and get out of there.
Yeah.
Let us know in the chat what you think to that one. A couple more super chats to get through, including this one from Silvio. Big up to Lee, right? Such a refreshment from Arsenal fan after Robbie, the king of deflection. I have to say, he's deflecting it so
Terrible.
much recently, and I'm not having it. I actually I put my foot down on Monday. I said I'm not having this anymore.
Put more than
I
your
asked
foot
him
down.
about Arsenal, and he said, "Well, are you going to win the league then?" Before he'd even spoken about Arsenal. So, yeah, it's good that he's not here today.
Listen.
Neutrality.
Listen, after
not really.
After that game on Saturday against Newcastle, you can't be deflecting anything. It was as poor as it could get.
Tell me.
You going to do an Invincibles? Should have said that.
Let me answer. Don't ask me.
Are Arsenal going to do an Invincibles? Robbie?
Is anybody this year?
It's not probability, but it's a possibility.
Oh, well, that's Julian, isn't it? That's Julian.
Hey, do you know what? I've got a lot of. Just before I want to address this.
Go on.
We love Julian.
Because I've been guilty by association with that.
Yeah, you're in that
You
clip.
didn't shut it down.
I'm in that clip.
But you
People
didn't say
Would you like to
Yeah.
distance yourself
You
from
can
the claim?
I'd like to. I like to distance myself from that. You know what I mean? I actually said we could go unbeaten, maybe away from home because of the toughness.
You did say that.
But
You were entertaining it.
You weren't shutting it down, Lee.
You didn't shut it down.
You didn't put your foot
To
down.
be fair, Julian actually didn't say that we were going to go. He said we could.
It's a
Yeah, well,
It's a
the fact that it was
possibility.
entertained is
But
a massive
I was
disrespect to the Premier
entertained
League.
by
I think really law of averages, it's not going to happen.
it's never gonna happen
But I
again.
probably should have.
Why was it even a topic?
I don't know why he
Why was
brought it
it
up. I don't really know
conversation?
why.
My
he
favourite
brought it up.
part
After
of
winning
it
against
was
Leicester at home.
Basically, what I heard was, we've travelled
Struggled
to
against
City,
Leicester
we've
as
travelled to Tottenham. There's only a couple of really difficult away games left, and the next thing you know, we could go on an
Yeah.
unbeaten run. Disrespectful to Bournemouth. I didn't hear anything about Newcastle in there.
everyone.
Wow. I mean,
Which I said, like Newcastle. I did
Good
say
teams in the
Newcastle's tough,
Premier League.
Chelsea's
Chelsea,
tough,
they
Liverpool's tough.
Didn't bring
Didn't
up.
bring up Chelsea.
I even think Brighton's tough. There's
United.
They're all tough.
Man United as well.
Every
We're
game.
going to be a different side now.
My favourite part about it was when just Julian went, could do.
Could do.
Could do.
Yeah, so I was guilty
Such
by
a good clip.
I'm
Brilliant.
guilty
You
by
won a game since
association.
that clip.
Fantastic.
Guilty by association. Yeah, I think we have.
Who? In
Preston.
Preston.
Preston away in the cup.
No, I think we won at home. I think we beat Southampton as well. But it was a. Yeah,
clip,
guilty
though.
by
It was entertaining,
association.
wasn't it?
And I
It
will
was.
say that
It's
Robbie did
evergreen.
shoot that down.
It's an evergreen piece of
Wheel it
content.
back out every time. they lose.
Robbie did shoot it down, And do
did.
you know what? The one thing about it, right? I've got to say this: he does not care.
Julian? No.
He doesn't care. Loves it. You know what I mean?
More views.
Someone said that once that they'd like to use his head as a bowling ball, and he absolutely loved it. That's a fantastic thing, you know what I mean? Sometimes people criticise him. He loves it.
I was going to
so
make
he's
a
a
joke
bit.
there, but
so he don't care. I go like, but every time Arsenal lose now, this clip comes up, and there's meaning in it, and people go, he's the clown that said it, no, it wasn't me,
listen.
Put out a statement.
I need to put out a statement.
Need to.
Blaze A, I can help you with that. Chelsea and no Americans will think it's a date. John 3 says Sanchez in goal is guaranteed goal for Arsenal. And Vinit says, who will win the sack race between Maresca or Ange?
Why are we involved in that?
We're not
even in the conversation.
Say says Lewandowski and Rafinha are cooking at the minute. Is the dog win still at Arsenal? Asked Clara.
We said he needs to rebrand. Needs to be called Draw.
Draw or loss.
I'll just call him like Tony. Pulis, if you want to call him.
Yeah.
Tony.
Is that
Tony?
name?
Here, Tony.
Time. Last one for a while. Owen says, outside of Saka pulling a David Beckham or set pieces, I don't see Arsenal create chances. Inter didn't even have Bastoni. Lee, what do you think of that?
Yeah, we haven't created chances at the moment,
All right.
But that's down more to the system than the players.
Yeah, I agree. Right, Liverpool play Aston Villa, 8 o'clock, Saturday night, under the lights at Anfield after a brilliant win against Bayer Leverkusen. I'm not underestimating Villa one bit, though. I don't want to get drawn into that because Villa, yes, they've lost 3 games in a row. Yes, they've conceded a few. Yes, they've made some sloppy mistakes, but it would just be typical, I think, of Emery to turn up and deliver a bit of a masterclass. But having won one of their 6 Premier League games, home games against Villa from 2009 to 14, Liverpool have now won 5 of the last 6 against Villa at Anfield. We did draw last season. Only United and Chelsea have actually got a better Premier League away record against Liverpool than Aston Villa. You're actually level with 6 wins with Aston Villa as the 3rd best travelling team to Anfield. Villa have lost 16 of their last 18 Premier League away games against sides starting the day top of the table. And Liverpool have conceded the first goal in the last 2 Premier League games, but avoided defeat in both as well. So Liverpool, as we know, on fire, looking to close off this period of games and go into the international break fresh. We play Southampton after the international break. So looking forward to this one. I'm going to be at the game. It's going to have that kind of European feeling around it with the lights. What are we saying for this one?
What European feeling? Why has it got a European
Champions
feeling?
League night. 8 o'clock kickoff.
Is it?
Yeah, it's 8 o'clock Saturday night.
Oh,
that's why I said it.
I honestly, I don't give
wasting my time watching
Villa
that
any
then.
chance in this game.
You don't fancy Villa?
No, not in this game. Away at Liverpool, under the lights, you're going to have a whole heap of atmosphere going into that game.
What?
Villa capitulated at Tottenham.
You've been to Anfield lately?
No, they will. They will. Once the players give them a reason, right?
They'll
if there's a little
start
kick and a push and a shove, inspired Brighton.
The fans won that game.
Inspired Brighton come back because there was a little bit of a riff-raff.
And if the referee's the atmosphere's so bad, why haven't you ever won there in the last 12 years?
I'm not saying it was nothing. I remember watching Chelsea. I was coming home, Chelsea versus Liverpool a couple of weeks ago. Put the radio
Anfield,
on.
Dead silent.
It was, and I thought.
Well, I was there.
Changing round, it was a dead game.
Right.
Dead game.
But anyway,
But I do think Liverpool will win this game. They're in crazy good form at the moment. Villa, they still got issues away from home, and that capitulation against Tottenham was just ridiculous. Like that was wild.
It was.
That was so ridiculous.
Unlike a Unai Emery team, though, wasn't it?
I don't know if it's Champions League because they've got their eye on 2 different competitions. That's the first time they've had to deal with that as well. So. It's not easy because Champions League is taking a lot out of them. Every single game
I would disagree because all 3 of their losses, they were at home against Palace. They lost that. They were 1-0 up. They were 1-0 up against Tottenham. Last 15 minutes just.
But that's what I'm saying. As they get to the end of the game,
yesterday was a stupid mistake.
As they get to the end of the games, are they just collapsing?
And guess what? Liverpool at the end of games, that's where we wake up.
Exactly. So, yeah, I don't know. They lost obviously in midweek.
Yeah, Arne Slot's tactics at the minute have just been build slowly, and then 60 minutes comes round, make a sub, bring Szoboszlai on, kill them with the legs. So I am going to go for a Liverpool win. I did a preview on the channel with Luke from Up the Villa fan channel. Good lad. I'm not sure about his gene selection on the overlap the other day. Couple of holes in there. Big him up. I went for 3-1, and that's what I've locked in on the Amelie app as well.
I've locked in the same. I think that, people are quite, I think Villa have a brilliant squad. I've actually been talking up Villa so much. I didn't really expect Spurs to do
as well as they did against them, and for large parts they didn't. But I also think it wasn't just the fact that Villa capitulated. I think also Spurs capitalised on various moments, and I think that there was quality there, and I'm going to give that credit to Spurs as well, because no one did the other day. But anyway, back to Aston Villa. I think this will be a Liverpool win, 3-1.
3-1, Lee?
2-2.
2-2. Why?
That's what you want.
That's what you want, yeah.
No,
I
think Emery is getting a little bit of a free pass at the moment. I think his tactic, I think in control against Spurs, if I'll be honest, and he took Rodgers off and said it was injured and he weren't. A desperation to get his two forwards on and all that. And I think he's managed it wrongly in the last few games, and I think now he needs to get back on track.
So
and I think that
is Anfield the best place for him to do that?
Yeah. I think he just can be. I do. One thing I like about Emery is a spoiler. He has gone I'll give credit to Spurs last week. They took their chances and all that, but at one stage of that game, it was a bit of a dead game, 1-0, and they was in total control of it, and it silenced the Spurs crowd and all that. And he does do that. He went and beat us last season away from home. I think beat Spurs last season. They do get some results. And I think at the end of the day, on the bounce of 3 defeats on the spin,
3 different competitions.
As well. Yeah, it is so it doesn't look so bad. But I think that they have got players that can hurt, and if he gets it right, I think it'd be a very good game.
That's why, as a Liverpool fan, there's absolutely no complacency in this one. When you look at Watkins, if he's got his shooting boots on, he can get 2 in the same game. Duran can just ping one in from anywhere, it seems. If McGinn's on it, he's a very good player.
They're a good team, Villa. They're a good team.
They've got very dangerous players on the defence, apart from the last 3 games. You look at Pau Torres and Diego Carlos. That's a strong partnership this season so far. So I will give them a goal at Anfield, but I do think Liverpool overpower them.
Liverpool are in very good form at the moment, playing really, really well. But I've got a little sneaky feeling.
So you've locked in a 2-2.
I have locked in a 2-2. Yeah, there you go. Look.
You've got 3-1. What have you got?
2-1 Liverpool.
2-1 Liverpool. We'll take it. We'll bank the 3 points, and that is potentially a chance for Arne Slot to make it 15 wins out of 17,
which is incredible.
Which is a joke. It's actually the best of any English manager in history.
He's not English, is he?
Well, for an English club, because Mourinho was on 14 wins and he might overtake him there. So that's.
I'll tell you what I've liked about him. I was saying this earlier on. He's got no ego. He's just doing what's right for the team, right for the football club.
And he understands the players. He understands what he's got. He's not bought anyone apart from Chiesa, who we might get back after international break, but to just work with what he had.
Jesus.
Bro, I know. 12 million though, so it wasn't that bad.
That was
got an assist on his debut. So no, it's good. Right, so we've all locked our scores in on the Jackpot Sevens feature. Let us know in the chat. Have you? If not, download the app now. Before we get on to the next one, don't forget, if you're liking this show, well, guess what, Abby?
Tell me.
In 38 minutes from now, these two, right? And I'd like a bit more chest on Emily when you're debating on there.
What's
against
with asking
Lee?
for my chest? You
because
you did a standing ovation last week.
Because you can't just have
and
chest
did it
one
work?
week and not the other.
I can literally do that.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. So don't forget, 2 o'clock after this show, the Judge and Matisse are going live on Emily for the preview of Chelsea versus Arsenal. But guess what? You can call in and talk to them, right? Not abuse them, debate with them. That's the word. It's a brilliant app, isn't it? We've been having a lot of fun with this at the minute. You guys can debate and chat with your favourites, host your own audio shows,
look at you go,
listen in, chat to us as well. Basically, it's like your own audio podcast. Signing up is fun and easy, but the cherry on top is that you get to create your own AI avatar. And Lee Judges, I have to say,
brilliant.
What an absolutely beautiful man you are in this picture, up against Matisse.
Looking like Freddie
You chose
Lundberg.
it all yourself, looking like
Freddie Lundberg,
just without the Calvin Klein deal.
I did think more like John Joe Shelby, but
Ooh, that's a bit harsh, isn't it? But these are some of the results that you can get with your AI avatar, isn't it? On the Amelia app. We've all done it. Get up, load in yourself. You get some funny results, and it is audio only, right? So you can even do it on the toilet if you want, in bed, as well, as I have in the past. Joking. There is also a unique scoring system, right? The more you engage on the app, the higher you climb in the ranks. Get your points up by debating. As you know, follow the DR Sports channel so you can join the show on the app. Click the link in the description, scan that QR code to download it. We're going to see you there, and I'll be locking into this one, right? Because I'm expecting a bit of fire in the chat there. So big up to Emily for fire in the booth.
Can you ask Jason to come in? I've pressed the wrong button on my phone. Like,
what do you need?
Have you gone live? Have you gone early?
No, I don't know what I've done.
Don't worry.
No, it's all right. We'll sort that out. Don't worry. Right, let's get back into the Jackpot Sevens fixtures, Matisse. Manchester United at home to Leicester. Obviously, Leicester need the win. They're right down there. United need the win. They're right down there. Abby, let's have it right.
Yes,
if you look
they
at the
are.
table, this is
page 2.
This is 13th, right, versus 15th.
Yeah, but we saw they met each other in the cup. Obviously, Leicester probably weren't.
They did.
And they got smoked.
Yeah, they got smoked. But yeah, I'd still say Manchester United should be getting this one over the line. They've got new managers. Well, he's interim, you know what I mean? But they're still trying to play for the new manager who just absolutely battered Man City in midweek. He's been handling his press conferences very well, because he's been getting asked some stupid questions, I think.
By Gary Potterill.
Yes.
Mainly.
Ridiculous.
Imagine
arrogance from the British media. It was a disgrace.
About that, because how can you be an English journalist,
it was a disgrace.
Right, go to Portugal and ask him to speak in English, and when he doesn't, you get all arsey.
The entitlement's crazy.
It is, man.
To go over there,
not a fan of it.
Everybody's speaking in Portuguese. Why don't you learn some Portuguese?
There you go.
You see so many bilingual journalists translating. I think they translated Diaz's interview post-match.
Yeah.
You've done it. You even do it for the El Clasico watch along. You know what I mean? So if you don't want to do that, then you have to just play by the rules. And he said he wants to speak in Portuguese. He's more than entitled to speak in Portuguese. You want to speak in English, you wait until he gets to England. Simple as that.
Good.
Anyway, so what's the score going to be?
Score. You got somewhere to be?
Yeah.
Where?
Work.
A Millie. she's waiting for a Millie.
Jumping on a Millie.
I've got other things to do.
I'll probably go 2-0 Man United.
Isn't it weird how many games we've had in the Cup, in the Carabao, and then it's like the same game?
Yeah, it's mad. It happens. It's happened to us with Crystal Palace.
With Brighton as well.
We've got Crystal Palace on the Wednesday and then in the league on the weekend.
Leicester, can they do a little surprising one though? And pull it
Well,
out the bag,
I tell you what, they have their moments, didn't they? We saw against Arsenal that there can be moments of quality. I think that it's going to be a closer game than we saw than in the Cup. Because I just don't fancy United at all, really. But in terms of like, do I think that they're going to be convincing? I don't fancy them. I do think I think they'll probably win this though. United, like,
they have to.
2-0.
If they don't win this,
2-0 maybe.
They must.
There's no consequences.
Yeah.
This already.
That's what you've gone for.
I'm
going to lock it in as well.
You locked in a 2-0 United. I'm going to do a little bit of a spoiler one, right? I'm going to go 1-1.
Is that because you want that?
Yeah, because I want that.
I think we all want
that.
We all want a Leicester win.
The thing is, though, if they do
Foxes.
drop points or they lose, there's literally no repercussions. It's done. What's done is done.
No.
Well, they're in 13th, as we said right now. I tell you what, the Sunday's looking juicy.
Sunday is juicy.
4 games on Sunday. You've locked in.
I've gone 2-0 United.
What have
Yeah.
you got?
I've gone 2-0 United. Yeah.
That is one of our Jackpot 7, so get involved in the app if you want. Next up in the app, West Ham versus Everton. The Toffees will be travelling down on Saturday for this one. It is a 3 o'clock kickoff at the London Stadium. And I'll be honest with you, West Ham are desperate for a home win in the Premier League, or just any win in general. Everton will be going down hoping that they can move up the table a little bit. If you look at it right now, it doesn't look great for the Toffees. 16th versus 14th this one. So again, it's a mid-table clash, bottom to mid-table clash. Everton not even on double figures yet. 2 wins out of 10 this season, 5 defeats. But West Ham 3 wins and 5 defeats. So what do you reckon to this one, Lee Judges?
West Ham have been poor. Come on, let's say it's been really disappointing. But Everton, and I've got a soft spot for Everton for obvious reasons. But
I don't.
No, you don't. But I do hope that they do survive. But I can't see them getting anything. If West Ham lose this, they're in the manager's.
I need to see more from Paqueta, man. This guy was on the verge of going to Manchester City. He's meant to be the fulcrum of that team, the heartbeat of that team. Well, it could be on his mind, but he's not going anywhere playing like this. And the whole team, with all of the technical quality that they've got, Bowen, Somerville, Paqueta, they're just so poor.
Yeah.
What happened to Fulkrug? Where's he at?
He's injured.
The amount of players I've
Not that I really think he's going to make much difference.
Well,
it's crazy.
He's been injured since the opening game.
He has been.
David
pre-season.
Moyes is sitting somewhere laughing his head off right now.
Well, he's on the
because
overlap.
he tried to warn them. He said, "Listen, I'm doing a good job here. I've won you a trophy. I've kept you in Europe consecutively.
We
you
told
might not
him.
like the brand of football, but I'm handling business."
We said to Nicky, we said,
And
be
they
careful what
wanted
you
to
wish
push
for.
on.
I reckon, right, if we had Nicky here right now and we said, go on, we'll allow you to bring back Moyes, do you reckon he'd take it?
No.
He wouldn't.
He'd stand
No,
on
they've
it.
gone beyond
Stand on
that.
it.
They've
But
gone
like,
Die on that hill.
there's no
won't
way
he?
you can prefer what Lopetegui's doing right now to Moyes.
No, the problem was they went with the wrong. I think they went with the
just
wrong
went with the wrong
manager.
guy.
Like David Moyes took them. I do believe as far as they could take them, but I don't really know where West Ham fans think they're going anyway. I
think they should sack him, I'll be honest.
I think 7th, 8th is probably their ceiling anyway. I do, but I think in
So
terms
they're
of
punched.
what they wanted was someone that was more progressive manager, someone that is maybe a bit younger, has a sexier style of play, and I don't think Lopetegui was ever going to be that. So I think that's on. The
Do you think they
club.
should sack him? Because I do.
Well, that's what my question was going to be if they lose this one at home to
Well, yeah,
I think there's
writing on
there's
the
some
wall.
Yeah.
questions. Yeah.
I mean, he has
100%.
just beaten United recently at home. That's
Anyone can beat United.
Yeah, maybe let's give him a bit of grace, but I'm with it. Listen, when you go back to David Moyes done a great job there, like, you know, and then also you got to take in the concept they lose their best player as well. You had to replace that, and he did, and kept them relatively in a good position. But for me now, you know, if they lose this one,
Sack him.
it's international break, which is it's a bet, you know, get someone in that can do it. Like, you know, I just think probably was the right time for David Moyes to go, but then you get in the right manager, and you know they've got it wrong, haven't they? They've absolutely got it wrong.
I think this will be a draw. I think it'll be 1-1.
I don't think that's good enough.
It's not good
That's
enough.
for West Ham.
Honestly, if he doesn't
Not good
win this
enough for
game,
either
they
team.
should actually bite the bullet and accept that they made a mistake.
Who
Yeah.
would they bring in then?
Someone that plays the brand of football that they demand.
Do you know who would have been a really good person?
Give me 3 names.
I would have said Iraola.
Graham Potter.
Not that I think he would leave.
What's
But
he
yeah,
been
Graham
doing
Potter.
Graham Potter's been chilling. He's been studying.
I'd even argue
Open University.
maybe like a Thomas Frank would have been like a good option
never
for
gonna
them.
leave Brentford,
No,
though.
but I'm saying you said to me, give me 3 names. I'm giving you names that they should have looked.
Realistic names,
In the
Now,
summer.
though.
Yeah, true. I'd
In
agree
the
with
summer, well, now
Frank.
Ten
International
Hag.
break.
Ten Hag.
No.
Can you
He would never go
imagine?
there.
No.
He wouldn't go there.
Wow.
I don't
I'm
know.
actually
His
going to go for
ego's
a West
too
Ham win,
big
you
to
know.
go there.
I
Trevor
think this is the
Brooking,
game
yeah.
where they turn it around. I'm actually going to
Potter
go.
is probably the most
Graham
realistic
Potter,
one.
I like the Thomas Frank shout, to be fair.
I'm
But
going
the
to go
Thomas Frank
2-0.
one, I think Iraola would have been a good option for them to look at some point in the summer. I think he plays a really nice brand of football.
But he just,
Southgate? People saying
And he
Southgate?
shot it. No. Southgate's not a good option.
I mean, Moyes is chilling,
Trolling.
still
Moyes
there,
is
but he'd never
chilling.
come back. I'm gonna go for West Ham to turn it around. You know,
Okay.
I'm gonna go 2-0 to Hammers. What are you saying?
I had 2-1, but I'm not confident. Every single time I say West Ham are going to win a game, they never do. So I'm just kind of saying it.
I'm locking in 2-1.
I've gone 2-1.
And you
Because
said
Everton outside of McNeil don't really have anything else.
Beto obviously had that goal disallowed last
Yeah,
week
he's
in the
not-
offside.
He's nothing
he's not
special.
it.
Not doing most, and Calvert-Lewin.
Brother.
Don't even get me
Let's not talk
started.
about
on that
Calvert-Lewin
one.
again.
Let us know what you think the score is going to be in the chat. The last Jackpot Sevens fixture this week is Brentford versus Bournemouth. Bournemouth flying
Brentford
right now.
needs some wins.
Brentford need a win,
It's travelled
right?
terribly.
But Bournemouth,
gonna be a draw.
wow, beating Arsenal and Man City in consecutive home games. But how will they fare away from home? Right, they're going to Brentford in search of a win. They are currently 10th in the league, Brentford in 12th. Pretty much par for the course, though, for Brentford, would you say, so far?
Brentford, I think they're much better, I guess, at home than they are away. They've been terrible. We saw what happened at Fulham on Monday night. Don't know. They start games well, Brentford. They just can't see it through. Bournemouth, for me, they've played really well, really well. They've come out of that period of having Arsenal, City, Villa, and they've been absolutely flying. I like the style of football. They've been really aggressive as well, on the front foot, straight away as soon as the whistle goes. I like Iraola as a manager. I like what he's doing there. Good players. I think this is a Bournemouth 2-1 win.
Bournemouth 2-1 win. I'll go with that. I've got that in the app as well.
Do you know what though? You have to. They got a result against Villa away from home, but as well. You know what I mean? So
last kick of the
they've
game.
done really well, Bournemouth. You know. So if you think you can go to Villa and get something, you should be able to get a.
Yeah.
I think the thing that
Brentford
Brentford
gets
have let
out, yeah.
themselves down with this season, they've actually got minus goal difference. And last season we were thinking, with Collins at the back, Pinnock, some good defenders there at Brentford, but they've just been conceding too many goals. But Bournemouth, on the other hand, Iraola, right, he is destined with all due respect
100%.
to Bournemouth, he is destined for much bigger and better
West Ham.
things. Well, potentially at one point. I'm going to go for Bournemouth 2-1. I've locked that in the app.
Copy me.
I
think Brentford have got to get something from this game after what happened against Fulham.
Actually, you know what? I'm changing my mind. I'm going 1-1.
Yeah, I've gone 1-0.
I'm going 1-0.
I've gone 1-0. I've changed. I had 2-1 down, but Abby knows nothing, so I've gone 1-1.
Ooh, it's late.
Shock you
from the
bottled it.
judge.
I've got 2-1 based on individual brilliance.
You gone 2-1 as well?
Brilliance from Bowen or someone.
No, we're on the
sorry.
Brentford-Bournemouth game now.
Sorry, I had 2-2 for that.
Oh, 2-2. Decent game. Sorry, apologies. It wasn't the last Jackpot Sevens fixture. This is Nottingham Forest versus Newcastle.
Oh, tasty
Shout out
one.
to Forest, right?
This is
Because
a good
they are
game.
third in the Premier League right now. 3 wins in a row. Chris Wood playing as if, he's got Ronaldo on the back of his shirt at the minute. 5 wins, 4 draws, and only 1 loss for Forest. And they've only conceded 7 goals, which is only second to Liverpool, who've conceded 6. So shout out to Forest. They've been brilliant this season. And they come up against a team who are desperate for a win
Have
themselves.
they beaten any decent teams, though, Forest?
Not really, I'll be honest with you.
Do you know what with Forest, yeah? You see Chris Wood, I was looking back through his stats over the years, and he's only had 1 season at Newcastle when he was a regular starter, where he didn't get double digits. Every other season, he got minimum 10 goals.
Who's that?
Chris
Wood, Burnley.
Christopher Grant
Yeah.
Wood.
Burnley,
Call him,
every
actually.
single season in the
Manchester
Premier
City
League,
fan.
double figures. Now at Forest, double figures. I think he had double figures last year as well.
Do you know
the
what?
guy is just actually a proper Barclays man.
Yes.
Like we talk about Michu and all these other strikers.
Heritage.
Morton Gamp
He is,
Pedersen.
he is going down as
Well,
a
let me-
Barclays man. He guarantees you double figures.
I think, right, he's the best player ever from New Zealand.
Yes.
That's fair enough, isn't it? But look at these teams, right? He starts off in England at West Brom, goes to Barnsley, goes
Smashed
to
it at
Brighton,
Leeds.
goes to Birmingham, where he scores the winner against Bruges in the Europa League in 2011. Bristol, Millwall, Leicester, Ipswich, Leeds, Burnley, Newcastle, Forest. And he's got 36 goals in 78 games for New Zealand. What a career.
Yeah.
He's 32.
The qualifiers are easy over there.
What a career.
But
He's earned some
Proper
money on
journeyman.
transfer fees.
Yeah, proper journeyman. But
Forest
listen,
beat
I
Liverpool,
respect
didn't
it. They did.
Yeah, was
Correct.
that the joke?
At Anfield. At Anfield.
just went over his head, didn't it?
He went over that one. Alex didn't. He didn't bite on it. I put the rod out there, but
Yeah,
he
he
just
didn't even-
swam straight
didn't
past
take the
it.
bait,
past.
did
And
not take the
typical
bait.
Chelsea fan bit on it like.
Did not take the bait whatsoever.
He just mugged you off there as well.
Not really.
Chris Wood,
You're the one
though,
that
shout
lost.
out to him, right? What do we reckon the score's going to be then?
I'm going 1-0.
But Newcastle are desperate for a win. Only 1 win in the last 6
Can be desperate
in
when
the
they're like
Prem.
they're going to the City ground.
I think
It ain't easy.
it's a tough place. I think it's a tough place to go, but I also think Newcastle can be tough as well. And I think that this is maybe more. It sounds weird to say evenly matched because obviously Forest are absolutely flying at the minute and confidence is really high. But I think this will be a good game between the two of them.
Yeah,
Good
and do you know
battle.
what?
It's
Shout out to
Saxon
Newcastle, right? Because their closest away game that they must travel to
Oh, it's this one, isn't it?
is this one.
Yeah,
And
we're talking about
this is
this.
the closest. and that's still
Unbelievable.
2.5 hours. Round of applause for Newcastle away fans, everyone.
But they do this every year, don't they?
Okay.
It's just not.
Nah,
it's not-
Right.
I'm not feeling
8
it about
trips to
Newcastle at the minute. I'm
Yeah,
not feeling
no,
it.
You're not going to clap, but they got 8 trips to London. They got to go.
It's incredible.
Brighton, Southampton.
But they
Bournemouth.
wanted Sunderland relegated.
No, Matt Renton wants them back up.
Middlesbrough
so
went
he's
down.
got a derby to
Middlesbrough
go
all
to.
went
want
down.
him back.
Blackburn's up there as well, didn't they?
They might do it this year.
No, actually no.
Sunderland,
Well,
top of the
Blackburn.
league.
All right.
Their fan
So-
base, by the way, is unreal.
It
No,
is
Blackburn or
brilliant.
not. But
Big up to Newcastle.
They had a
I
couple.
really like
They had a
them.
couple clubs near them. They all got relegated, and they were all happy
Middlesbrough.
about it. So
yeah,
you know.
true. But they still have to travel a long way.
Well,
They're basically in
that's
Scotland.
what
Scores then. Have we locked them in?
I'm locked in 1-1.
1-1.
2-0
2-0 to
Forest.
Forest. Oh, is that because you're...
No,
Because
just
they
to
beat
be
you
honest,
last week?
I haven't been
Be
that
honest.
impressed with
Be
Newcastle.
honestly. I'm going to go...
I was impressed with them last
Time
week.
Derby.
Yeah, I was impressed when they played Spurs.
I'm
That's the
sure
only
they were.
time-
Tough one to
the only
show you
time.
were.
Matisse. I'm going to go
Isak's on great form.
2-2. Chris Wood must rise, but Alexander Isak will probably rise as well. Lock that in on
He
the
had a spell
jackpot
at
seven.
Newcastle. Did you say he had a spell? He had a spell at Newcastle. Wood.
Chris Wood?
Yeah, he's been everywhere, mate. Literally.
He was at
been
Newcastle
up
for a
and
couple
down,
of
he's been
seasons.
up and down the country, hasn't he?
He scored 4 goals for Newcastle.
He didn't have a great time.
Where did he start his career?
Cambridge. But is that the Cambridge in England? No, it's the Cambridge
in New Zealand.
In New Zealand.
He was in
I can't
Championship
remember
New
the
Zealand.
New Zealand
No,
accent,
same.
to be fair. Then he went to Waikato in New Zealand. Yeah. Honestly, big up to him because he's been around the houses.
What was his first English club?
First English club, West Brom. And then Barnsley, Brighton, Birmingham, Bristol, Millwall, Leicester.
All the bees.
Yeah, he likes
Obviously,
the
a
bees.
lot of loan deals must be there, right?
Pretty much, they're all loan deals, apart from a few.
What's your prediction, Mal?
2-1 Forest.
Cool.
2-1 Forest. I'm going 2-2. And that is officially the last Jackpot 7s fixture. Jump into Super Chats before we get the last 3 games out of the way, including Tottenham versus Ipswich at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Adam says, Arsenal having a dog called Win. It always gets me.
Same.
He says. And then he says, Lee waffles. Adam, do you agree with yourself?
I'm not got
Waffler.
waffle. When have I waffled?
I mean, that's what Adam said.
Did he pay for that?
Posing
He
it
did
to you.
pay for
He did.
it.
He
Yeah,
did.
whatever.
I'm only reading out the paper ones today. We've only got time for that.
Waffling.
Lee says, Matisse, is AR in a title race still? If yes, why isn't Chelsea, who's on the same points, etc.? Let's hear you waffle through this one. Come on, you Gunners.
Who's he talking to?
I think AR actually means Arsenal, what he's saying there.
He's talking to me?
Yes, he says, Matisse, is Arsenal in a
Well, they
title
won't be on the
race?
same points after
If
Sunday,
yes,
will they?
then Chelsea are on the
He's
same
asking
point.
me-
He's basically
he's asking me to
puff
waffle-
the chest out again and say that you're in a title race because Arsenal are as well.
That's
Because
just
you're on the same point.
that's just ludicrous.
Fair enough. Thank you, Lee. Unai has been bad lately, says Carl. The judge's avatar looks like Luke Chadwick.
Luke Chadwick,
Little bit
I
harsh,
have you
to be
there.
honest. Well, no, that's very harsh. You're a lot better looking than Luke Chadwick, mate.
He's skinny, isn't he?
No, he's ugly guy. With all due respect, Silvio says if City and Arsenal lose their games and Liverpool win, who's got more pressure, Liverpool or City and Arsenal? Pressure makes tyres, mate. That's how you deal with it. Adam says, Lee, calma. It's only November. Trust the process. Nathaniel says, just checking. Is anything Arsenal's fault yet? No comment.
No, Lee has taken. Lee has criticised a lot.
So
to be
you're
fair.
not allowed to moan about.
Do you know what it is?
referee? You're not allowed to moan about
Arsenal went on that
refs,
run of 10 men
dogs.
every single game and refereeing decisions. But to be fair, the last couple of results, you can do nothing but blame your team for the performances.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's what
And your
he's
and your
doing.
There is nowhere to
What
run.
Lee's doing.
There is nowhere to
Even
run.
when we lost to Man City, I never blamed nothing.
You drew 2-2.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you know.
You know, you got a lot of love on the Cop TV recently when you said when you went on a nice little rant about Konate in a positive way. You got a lot of. It's one of our most viewed videos on TikTok
no,
recently.
listen,
So shout out to you.
I'm an Arsenal fan, but I'm also
Football
a football
fan. Yeah, we love to
But
see.
at
it,
the end of it, Arsenal haven't done. Arsenal have got what they listen. You cannot. That Newcastle front got exactly what they deserve.
100%.
And you can't blame anybody.
Hardeep
But
says,
the same-
don't blame the manager/players. Man United a graveyard for top talented players and managers. And then D Dice says, can we talk about self-centered crybaby, self-proclaimed Ballon d'Or Vinny diving, complaining, moaning for 90 minutes against AC Milan? Rodri deserved winner. I agree. Right, Crystal Palace Fulham, local London derby. This one, Fulham buzzing still after their incredible last-minute win the other night. Harry Wilson, by the way, what a footballer! I absolutely love him. Brilliant player.
Has
Palace.
he got Liverpool connections?
No, well, it's a shame that we could never use him.
Thank you.
He's got a wonderful left foot. Very important for
there it
Wales as
goes.
well, Lee. So don't judge.
There it
No,
goes.
I like him.
Yeah.
Done very
that
well.
was a great
Great attitude
comeback,
as well.
though. That was
Great,
great.
great game.
Fantastic. 2 great goals. 17th versus 9th, Abbey. 7 points versus 15. I mean, Palace are struggling. Eddie Nketiah is 007 at the minute, Abbey, unfortunately for him.
Wow, that's
Score
kind of mad, isn't it?
predictions.
2-2.
Anderson
2-2.
to score against his old club.
Yeah, you reckon that's going to happen? Yeah.
2-0.
Palace have only scored 8 goals, Lee, so far. Obviously, Eddie Nketiah isn't doing the business. So, do you think they're going to turn it around in this game, or are Fulham going to carry on?
Listen, I think Palace have turned their form around. They beat a certain other team in London, and that sort of kick-started them a little bit. And I think that because of that, they're beating another London team on
Well, they need the win. 7 points so far.
2-1.
Flirting with relegation at the minute.
But I think Eze's out for this game. They've got quite a few injuries, Palace. They're just, I don't know. There's no creativity.
Had a great
in that
result
team.
I know they beat Spurs, but they also backed that up with a great result at
Villa
in the cup.
Yeah.
2-1, yeah.
You
Really
have to
good.
give them a bit of credit. So they're on a little bit of a roll.
Yeah, I'm going to go for tough one to call because Palace are desperate and Fulham are on form a little bit in 9th. So I'll go 1-1. I'll go 1-0. What have you got?
I've got 2-0.
2-0 Palace.
No, Fulham.
2-0 away win.
Yeah, I think so.
Yourself?
Jimenez up front, maybe.
2-1.
2-1. Palace home win. They will turn it around according to Lee. Wolves Southampton.
God, they need
Molyneux.
They need to.
I mean,
God, both teams.
Wolves. I mean, this is 19th versus 20th.
They're going to get their first win. They're going to get their
Wolves
first win this weekend.
No, this is going to be a draw. All these teams that need wins against each other, they just keep.
No, Wolves have got to do something. Wolves have to stop. Like,
Sitting 3 points.
they're going to get their first win this weekend.
Really?
Yep.
No, they have to.
They're going to. It's going to be 1-0 Wolves.
1-0 Wolves.
And it's going to be late.
Late. Oh, it's late. Yeah, Wolves Southampton, Lee.
2-0 Wolves.
2-0 Wolves. What have you got?
Yeah, they kind of have to. Otherwise, he's probably going to be in the firing line. Even though I don't think he should be.
Agreed.
But
The fixture list has been tough.
I'll go 2-1 Wolves.
I'm going to go 3-0 Wolves. Right? And them and the other team that we're about to speak about, Ipswich, the only 2 teams without a win in the Prem. I don't know if that's ever happened before.
Who's that? Wolves and
games.
Leicester?
Ipswich. Wolves and Ipswich.
So they've just
Guess who Ipswich have got though?
Tottenham.
on Sunday.
At
So
Tottenham.
when's that Wolves game? Is that
Why
Saturday?
The Wolves game's on Saturday.
No, to be fair, if we were going to Ipswich, I'd say
No,
Doctor,
you're not going to drop points.
We're not going to Doctor Tottenham.
Ipswich
You're not
would be the
going to
only
drop
team
points
left.
home to Ipswich.
If we were
They
at
win on
Ipswich,
Sunday,
right? We
that's
actually
correct.
need to hurry up because
So-
I'm really late. So
Spurs like handing out favours.
we do, but it's at Spurs. So
Spurs are very good at home.
Liam Delap.
yeah, no. I'll go 3-1 Spurs.
3-1 Spurs.
Yeah.
Tottenham could do the win as well, couldn't they?
Why won last week?
Spurs go above us.
Oh yeah, well,
So you need some
You're
consistency.
7th, so you
Yeah.
could do with the win, and
need
it
some
would probably
consistency.
take. Hang on, I've just realised, right? If Arsenal don't win,
Yeah.
and you win,
Yeah.
Abby,
where do we go?
well, depending on a few other results, you'd be going above Arsenal.
Well, they go above us. If they win on Saturday,
Title challenging?
if they win on Sunday, they go above us.
Yeah.
Title
Because they
challenging
start above
Arsenal.
us.
They're not going to be title challenging if they lose. at Stamford
Title
Bridge.
challenging Arsenal. Spurs would go
Right.
above them. It's
No, so well,
crazy.
that's why we've got to win.
Yeah.
If
Liverpool- if
the
Liverpool
likes of
win-
Tottenham are going above you
Yeah.
with 4 defeats,
Yeah, you're in trouble.
You're in
That's
big
crazy.
trouble.
Going into Christmas, that's not really.
I'm
Let's
gonna
just
go
call
for
it
a
as
bit
it
of
is.
a romp.
Crazy.
I'm going to go for a romp. 3-0 Tottenham.
Nice. I'd like that. I'd like that.
I'm
I'd
sure
love
you
a
would.
clean
What a
sheet.
romp.
Clean sheet.
Clean sheet for Abby against Ipswich, who, as I said, looking for their
Say
first
that
win of the
powerly
season.
tonight, yeah? Okay.
What are you going for?
2-0 Tottenham win.
2-0. Let us know in the chat. We got 2-0 Ipswich, says Glenn in the chat there.
I'm going to be coming in next week on my tractor.
On my
On the
tractor.
tractor boy.
Yeah, love it.
2-0 Ipswich.
2-0 to the Tractor Boys. Do you believe that? Is that what you want, Mr.
I've
Judges?
got
You've got a funny feeling, have you?
Spurs are
Funny
Spurs.
feeling, I have.
Just
Away
when you
from
think-
home. Away from home.
Yeah, I'll get that. But
If we
I
were going
just-
to Ipswich, I would probably agree with you. I'd say very Dr. Tottenham, but because it's at home, I think we'll be all right.
Giving out medicine for free. All right.
When that
I'm
second
going
goal
for a
goes in,
resounding
Abby, and you're 2-0 down, just remember.
I'll think of
Just
you.
think of Lee Judge's face.
I'll
like
think
that,
of you.
with the teeth grinding. Right, that's all the games that are going to be played in the Premier League this season. Don't forget, we'll be back on Monday. But before we go, a couple more super chats from the good people, the listeners, the viewers. St. Doom says Arsenal are just Tottenham in red at this point. Up the Chelsea. Adam says Arteta been possessed by Eric Ten Hag. The amount of excuses. Chelsea playing in the Conference League is fitting, says Sai. And Silvio says, question for Lee. If Liverpool won the league, how would that look from an Arsenal point of view regarding Arteta? Keep it nice and short.
Keep it nice and short. I hope Liverpool do win the league. If Arsenal
cheers,
don't win
man.
it, because I like a team that's a proper football club going and win the league. And if
Big
they
up
do
to
it,
Lee Judges.
good luck. to them.
Gee, you're always welcome up
What
in Liverpool, mate.
what has that got to do
On
with
both
Arsenal?
sides
Arsenal
of
have gone up against City in the last couple of years and failed.
Yep.
If Liverpool by the way, have gone probably 4 or 5 seasons before that and got the one.
Yep.
If Liverpool
True.
get the result, it doesn't look good on Arsenal. It doesn't look good on Arteta. But at the end of the day, I'd rather have that than Man City.
Arne Slot. That's all I'm going to say. Right, we are out of here, but don't forget this week's Jackpot 7s game is on the Fair Play app. You can download it by clicking the link in the description below or scanning the QR code on the screen. Jackpot is the code that you need to gain your free 1-week entry to the game. And don't forget, 700 grand up for grabs. I know no one's won it yet, but if you're Ben S, who won 440 quid, you should still get involved. If you get all your 7 predictions right, then you are looking at the 700k. So that's still yet to be won. Whoever does, because I feel like across the season, someone will win that with us. So we'd have to get them in,
Oh, yeah.
ask them for a bit of cash. Help us out. Take us for lunch at least. 100%. Well, maybe not you because you've only done one show, but all the best.
Robbie don't eat as much as he used to.
No, he don't. There's lots of food left.
We'll get tired probably. Remember, you must be in the UK and you must be over 18. And we finished at a great time for you guys to go over, get yourself some lunch, get a cup of tea, because in 12 minutes from now, remember that DR Sports will be going live on the O'Milly app at 2 p.m. So download the app now using the link in the description. It's Matisse versus Lee Judges. And then don't forget, on Monday, we'll be back round the table discussing all the highs and potential lows of the weekend. Great to have you with us this week. Lee, round of applause for Lee.
Love seeing you.
Thank you very much.
Great show from himself.
Love seeing you. Can't wait to see what you give us this weekend.
Thank you.
Facial expressions.
Shout out to Abby, she's back in the building.
Back in the building. Missed you all so much. Funny diary room, by the way. You made me laugh. Funny. You were funny on diary room.
Yeah.
Don't remember what I said.
Funny.
Matisse, big up to you.
Thank you.
Soldier.
Hope you get better,
Soldier
mate.
through.
Thank you.
Looking
Big up
forward
to
to
you.
seeing you on the Amelia app or listening to you on the
Big up to you.
on the Amelia app in 10 minutes. Thanks. Jesus Christ.
Just so
How's your ribs?
Yeah, honestly, I think I might put a claim in. Right, it's a good show. We'll see you soon. Take care. All the best.